You did everything right. You tracked your calories, you stayed consistent, you lost the weight. And then, slowly, without doing anything differently, it came back. And the next time you tried, it was harder. And the time after that, harder still. That's not a coincidence, and it's not your fault. But understanding why it happens changes everything about what you do next. Here's what most people don't realize about dieting. The body doesn't experience a calorie deficit the way a calculator does. It doesn't see math. It sees a threat. And when it senses that food has become scarce, even when that's intentional, it starts making changes to protect itself. It slows things down. It gets more efficient. It starts holding on tighter to everything it has. And when the diet ends, those changes don't just switch off. Some of them stay. Some of them become the new normal. So the next time you try to lose weight, you're starting from a different baseline than before, a harder one. So what do most people do when the weight comes back? They try harder, cut more, track more strictly, eliminate something else. And there's something deeply frustrating about that, because the effort is real, the discipline is real, but the results get smaller, not bigger. And at some point, it starts to feel like the problem is you. It isn't. What's actually happening is that each time you go through a restriction cycle, the body gets better at surviving it. It stores fat more efficiently, it burns less at rest, it tightens everything up one more notch. Researchers call this the Ratchet effect. Every cycle you go through, the mechanism gets tighter. The body isn't fighting you, it's adapting to you, and it's very good at it. The reason this is so hard to fix through willpower alone is that it's not happening at the level of behavior. It's happening at the level of hormones and cells. When the body has been through prolonged restriction, something shifts. The hormones that tell your brain you have enough energy start sending weaker signals. The cells themselves start running more efficiently, extracting more from less. So when you go back to eating normally, the same food hits differently than it did before. And the longer this pattern has been running, the more established those changes become. The window to interrupt it doesn't stay the same size forever. What the research has started looking at is how to address this at the level where it's actually happening, not just the inputs, but the system processing those inputs. One direction is behavioral, structured periods of normal eating between deficit phases, which research shows can partially reset the hormonal signaling that restriction disrupts. The other direction is cellular. There's a growing body of work looking at whether the internal environment of the cell, specifically something called NAD+, which plays a role in how cells process and use energy, can be supported in a way that behavioral change alone doesn't reach. That second direction has produced a category of research-based compounds, NAD+ precursors, that work at the cellular level rather than at the level of appetite or calories. They're not a diet product in the conventional sense. They don't promise weight loss. What the research investigates is whether the cellular environment that restriction changes can be supported independently of what someone eats or how much they exercise. For people who have been through multiple cycles and feel like each attempt leaves them worse off than the last, that's a different kind of question than the ones most products are answering. The science is still developing. Not everything on the market reflects what the research actually shows. Here's the thing. About the metabolic trap, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean your body is working against you in some permanent way. It means the cycles you've been through have changed the environment your body is operating in, at a level that effort and discipline can't directly reach. Knowing that doesn't fix it immediately, but it stops you from doing the one thing that makes it worse, going back to the same approach and expecting a different result, while the mechanism quietly tightens another notch. The question isn't whether you have the discipline to try again. The question is whether you're addressing the right layer of the problem.